Peacemaker is an American superhero television series created by James Gunn for the streaming service HBO Max, based on the DC comic books character Peacemaker. It is the first DC Extended Universe television series and spin-off from the 2021 film The Suicide Squad. Set after the events of the first film, the series further explores the jingoistic killer Christopher Smith / Peacemaker. It is produced by the Safran company and Troll Court Entertainment in association with Warner Brothers Television, with Gunn serving as the showrunner. John Cena stars as the title character, reprising his role from the Suicide Squad, with Danielle Brooks, Freddie Stroma, Chukwudi Iwuji, Jennifer Holland, Steve Agee, and Robert Patrick also starring. Gunn conceived Peacemaker after noting Cena's strength as a dramatic actor while filming The Suicide Squad, and wrote all 8 episodes while completing the film during the COVID-19 pandemic. HBO Max ordered Peacemaker straight to series in September 2020, and additional casting took place over the following months. Filming began in Vancouver, Canada in January 2021, with Gunn directing 5 episodes. Production ended in July. Gunn chose to use his hair metal songs for the series soundtrack, including Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam for the opening titles. The title sequence features the series cast performing a choreographed dance number. Peacemaker premiered on HBO Max on January 13, 2022, with its first 3 episodes. The rest of the series was released weekly until February 17th. Each episode received higher viewership than the last, with the season finale breaking the record for the highest single-day viewership of any HBO Max original episode. The series has received positive reviews, with praise going to Cena's performance and Gunn's directing and writing. A second season was ordered in February 2022, with Gunn set to write and direct all the episodes. Additionally, several other Suicide Squad spin-off series featuring characters from the film and Peacemaker are in development. The cast includes John Cena as Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, a jingoistic killer who believes in achieving peace at any cost. Showrunner James Gunn described Peacemaker as a piece of shit and a superhero supervillain, the world's biggest douchebag. Gunn did not want the series to remove Peacemaker's worst qualities, but attempted to explain some of them by exploring Peacemaker's relationship with his father. After Peacemaker killed Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad in 2001, Flag's final words, "Peacemaker, what a joke," have a big impact on him in the series. Then we have Danielle Brooks as Leota Adebayo, the daughter of Argos leader Amanda Waller and a member of Project Butterfly. Gunn described her as a co-lead with a different political view from Peacemaker's, and said their friendship is the heart of the series because they are the only characters that like each other despite the differences in their personalities and backgrounds. Gunn added that both characters are defined by their parents. Adebayo is an original character created by Gunn, and her first name is taken from his mother. Then we have Freddie Stroma as Adrian Chase, Vigilante, a self-proclaimed crime fighter who looks up to Peacemaker like an old brother. Unlike his comic book depiction as a superhero, Peacemaker's Vigilante is a foolish sociopath, willing to kill any lawbreaker regardless of severity of the crime. Gunn felt this approach was what real-life Vigilante would be like, a guy who dresses up in a costume and goes around and kills people and says they are doing something wrong. He's a sociopath, but he's got this sort of sweet aspect to him. Then we have Chukwudi Iwuji as Clemson Mern, a mercenary and the leader of Project Butterfly, who reports directly to Waller. He is revealed to be a butterfly himself. Iwuji explained that the original mercenary was a bad person, similar to a Peacemaker at the start of the series, but the butterfly who possessed Smyrn is trying to use his body for good by stopping the rest of the butterflies. The actor developed a backstory for Mern since he does not exist in the comics, and a vocal coach, Coley Caholen, helped develop the character's voice. Then we have Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt, an Argos agent who is assigned to Project Butterfly by Waller. Holland was grateful for the nuances of Gunn that gave the character, but was concerned that she may come across as a cold-hearted bitch. She was glad that the character was received in this way. Holland was able to use her background in competitive gymnastics for the character's many fight scenes. Gunn said the television format meant the relationship that she had developed between Harcourt and Peacemaker could be more nuanced than the film would have allowed, with it not being a love relationship, but also not that either. Stephen Agee as John Economus, an Argos agent who provides tactical support for Project Butterfly. Agee reluctantly dyed his beard when he first portraying the character in the Suicide Squad and was not happy to do it again for Peacemaker. This is acknowledged within the series as a running joke about his dyed beard, which Cena felt was offensive and unfunny and showed just how much a bully Peacemaker is. It leads to an emotional scene in the first season finale where Economus reveals why he dyes his beard. And Cena said this moment allowed Peacemaker to reflect on his actions and realize the harm that he'd been doing with his jokes. Then we have Robert Patrick as August Augie Smith, or White Dragon, Peacemaker's racist father, who supplies him with technology to aid his mission. Gunn said Agee was a worse person than Peacemaker and a lost cause. Executive producer Peter Safran described him as Archie Bunker on steroids, and Cena said he was the only character in the series who does not have a character arc and a journey. Gunn noted that portraying a racist character was a delicate subject and something that HBO Max expressed some concern about. The White Dragon is not Peacemaker's father in the comics, but it was always Gunn's intention to make that change when he added Peacemaker to the Suicide Squad. And finally we have Newt Lee as Judah Master, a bodyguard who specializes in martial arts and works for Senator Raylan Goff. Gunn described him as the dick that loves Cheetos. Now, John Cena is completely solid in physicality and in acting in Peacemaker. He leads a bloody good time that gives writer-director James Gunn full permission to fly and let go and let his creative juices flow. The show offers a goofy takedown on vigilantism, and all the cast are absolutely perfect and the humor is completely on point. Gunn has really carved out a niche for himself in incorporating humor along with his superhero films. Now, I found myself really enjoying this quirky offbeat take on superheroism. This show never really takes itself too seriously, and here it portrays a bad guy gone good. The show, though, does touch on some heavier subject matter, and it doesn't really shy away from pushing agendas. Now, for me here, John Cena is excellent as Peacemaker, the comic book hero who is sexist and sometimes can be quite naive and even stupid at times, but underneath it all has really got a big heart. And now we get to understand a little bit of why he is the way he is, because he's brought up in the most awful of circumstances, with a tyrannical, awful father, played brilliantly here by Robert Patrick. Patrick is completely hateful here as Agee, and is just so unlikable and detestable that he plays it on point. Cena brings a charm and a heart to this role, and of course after cutting promos years in the wrestling ring, he brings this sort of panache as well. But in the same breath there's an awkwardness, a naivety and a simpleness to the act that makes him rather likeable at times, even though there are many times where he's completely just detestable. The story is completely over the top and outlandish, but that's the point. The show is playing on the grand nature of comic books, and with Gunn's stylish directing, he adds his trademark humor that hovers over top-notch action sequences that all help in making the show incredibly entertaining. Now, one gripe I had with the show is maybe a slightly odd one. I'm by no means a conservative viewer, but I did find that the swearing got a bit over the top at times. Like, for example, I think they were just throwing in the swear words just for the sake of it, almost to be cool, and not really just playing it out naturally. It seems these days in Hollywood, particularly with the superhero movies, you either have to have the PG rating, but when you do get the R rating, you really go all in. I enjoyed seeing Peacemaker's backstory here, and it really ties in perfectly with the Suicide Squad movie. And the whole story of the butterfly alien attack is rather disturbing and quite intense in many ways. For me, though, this is a lighter version of The Boys, but just as entertaining. I also absolutely loved the soundtrack. The use of hair metal really adds further character to the show. And what more can I say about the title sequence? I found it absolutely wonderful, and it was a perfect way to lead into every episode. And it captures the tongue-in-the-bloody-cheek spirit of the series. So yes, this is a violent and hardcore show, but it's done with a smile. Fun, violent, action-packed, tongue-in-cheek, without pushing too many limits. Peacemaker is a good R-rated comic book fun, in line with, say, Deadpool, and a more toned-down version of The Boys. And led by a fantastic performance from John Cena. Peacemaker gets a 9 out of 10.